What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Hope you guys are enjoying your day and much appreciated that you came back to the channel, obviously. Today, got something new on tap for you guys. Obviously, if you've seen kind of what this channel is about, obviously NFL draft. If you know that, great. If you're new, now you know. But we're going to have a lot of Colts and Packers centric content here on the channel. So, what better way to start them off in draft season here with a little Colts mock draft? This will be the first one. Probably have a couple more before draft season winds down and we have the draft in late April, early May. But it's a great time to just maybe get you guys refreshed a little bit, Colts fans, with maybe how Chris Ballard and company will attack the 2021 NFL draft. So we're going to jump right in. I will say picks have been made beforehand, so we're not going to go through the simulator, but I did use a simulator for this. It is the NFL Mock Draft Database Simulator. Really great one. I'll put the link down in the description for you guys to check that out. Definitely do so. Also has a lot more there, like consensus rankings, consensus mocks, all in one. Their team mocks, everything else in there as well. It's all condensed really into one site. It's really well done. So check that out. Without further ado, let's get right into it. Colts mock draft here. Obviously, the Colts made a big move, trading their 2021 third round pick and their 2022 second conditional, could become a first round pick next year for Eagles quarterback Carson Wentz. Now, that gives them a little bit of a short hand here going into the NFL draft this year. Leaves them without a third round pick. And as we all know, Chris Ballard does love his picks. So we have a little trade here, and that's what we're going to go through first before we get into the picks. So let's dive into the trade first. All right, guys. So here is the trade that we got in the simulation here. Basically trading away our first round pick here for the Colts, pick 21, to the Panthers for picks 39 and 73 in this year's draft, and then a 2022 second, which is important as well, obviously, because they could be without one next year, or if they're without a first next year, 2 seconds, just how Ballard likes it. So it's a really nice move here. Obviously, if the Panthers have an idea of what they would like to go get, someone they eye, could be a tackle, could be another weapon in the passing game. Who knows? But we assume they're going to go get their quarterback, so maybe they're coming up here to get another piece on that offense. This gives the Colts a lot of flexibility here. Obviously, now 2 second-round picks, now a third-round pick as well in this draft. So let's see what they do with these picks now. We're going to go through the picks one by one. All right, starting things off here. Jordan Smith at pick 39. Maybe seem a little early to some. A lot of people think this edge class is very deep, and it is. There's a lot of names, day two, that a lot of teams will look into. Very talented group. Maybe not an elite, truly elite option at the top, but a lot of very good quality starters in this class. So we'll talk about Jordan Smith here, why this makes sense. Obviously, Colts need help on the edge. Kamoko Toure, Ben Banogu, not getting the job done, not staying on the field enough to do so. Justin Houston's a free agent. Could he come back? Potentially. But here they go. Jordan Smith, UAB edge. Again, Ballard likes drafting Senior Bowl players. I know it's at the bottom here on the list, but that's something to keep note of. He does dip heavily into Senior Bowl players when the draft comes around. Very good first step. First thing that steps out for Jordan Smith. Very good first step off the line of scrimmage. He has the length, the athleticism, change of direction skills to threaten tackles on the outside track, threaten them with an inside move. Got a very nice rip move around the edge, has some bend around the edge as well. Very effective at getting to the quarterback as a pass rusher. Needs a little bit of refinement in his counters, but the potential is very high, and this is another small schooler that maybe will confuse Colts fans at the time, a la Darius Leonard, maybe draft analysts as well, like Leonard was back then, a couple years ago. But Jordan Smith, very high ceiling, very nice pick here for the Colts. A lot of people are starting to take notice of this guy and want him in round 2. So a very good pick here. Next on our list here, a corner that is rising up draft boards. Greg Newsome II, the corner from Northwestern. Couple people have put him as their cornerback 4 behind the obvious top 3 of Farley, Surtain, and Horn. But Greg Newsome, Obviously, we have Xavier Rhodes here leaving in free agency potentially. Doesn't sound like he'll be back, but still unsure. Even if he is back, we sure about Rocky Sin? I don't think we are here in Indy. And I should say we, but I think Newsome fits really well with the Colts zone scheme. Very disciplined eyes in coverage, reads the quarterback well. He's really quick processor, and that's something that people don't give enough credit to is guys who are processing things mentally very quickly. And that's not something you pick up maybe on tape on the first watch, but you go back, you learn a little bit, continue to understand it, and you see how well this guy, it clicks for him and how well his closing speed is on tape. Good instincts in zone coverage. And he got targeted quite a bit last year. I think it was an 11.8 passer rating when targeted in coverage in 2020. Something to take note of. And obviously, very good transitional quickness for him. Very good at flipping his hips, turning to run vertically, or flipping them to get back on track. And he's very feisty at the catch point. So someone the Colts are really going to like. Matt Eberflus is going to like him a lot if he comes in to play in their zone scheme. And not be afraid here. Take a guy who you think can force turnovers, you think is going to be able to process well, get up, make plays in front of him and behind him. All right, if you are familiar with this channel and you've been here before, you know all about Dwayne Eskridge. If you don't, I will link that, obviously, at the end, my entire video on him. Again, this is a perfect fit for Indy here. A true vertical threat in Eskridge who separates with his long speed, his burst down the field, but also can separate quickly in a West Coast scheme where you're asking him to win quickly, win over the middle of the field. Again, very good separator, good route runner, short area quickness, quick in and out of breaks, very good at sinking his hips and changing direction. I think that's something you see on tape, something you saw at the Senior Bowl as well. Another Senior Bowl guy, crazy. Again, guy who can win at every level, dangerous after the catch, can take any play to the house. Very evident on tape as well. And reliable hands, consistently making catches away from his frames. That's something very good about Eskridge. You're going to be able to rely on him. Really fits the T.Y. Hilton mold to a T almost. And that's maybe not, it wasn't really intentional in this mock, but how can you not love that? And again, a special teams guy, contributor there. Punt and kick returns. Get him back there early. Let him make some plays for you. Moving to the fourth round now. We are out of day 2. And obviously that Eskridge pick was picked up via the Panthers trade. But here, again, we obviously know the Colts need a left tackle. It's something they're going to explore in free agency. I assume what they're going to do is bring in someone on a budget, or they're going to let Quentin Nelson take over the reins at left tackle. It'll be interesting, though, because they utilize his pulling skills a lot. So feels like he wouldn't move positions, but you never know. Still, bringing a guy in day 3 here like James Hudson III from Cincinnati. Very good athlete. Explosive out of his stance. Very adequate pass setting. He's still learning the position. But for where he's at right now in his development, does pretty well in that aspect. Active, powerful hands. He's only a 1-year starter. And wanted to highlight this as well. Obviously, hold on, this is another Senior Bowl guy. Of course, why not? But had really impressive reps against Azeez Ojulari, who is at the top of quite a few analyst draft boards at the edge position. Really kept him from getting in the stat sheet all game until late in the game. Did really well against him in the bowl game. So very impressed with Hudson. Think he can come in, maybe not start right away, but keep developing and eventually be a cornerstone on that offensive line. Obviously, if he comes in and starts right away, he's got help to his interior in Quentin Nelson. Next on the list here on day 3, got a double dip at edge. Why not? You get a guy like Jonathan Cooper. I think a lot of people are going to like him on day 3. Really competitive, good competitive toughness, great hand placement, good leverage. Gets really low, gets engaged well on offensive tackles. Does a great job with his hand placement and does well with his counters to get off of blocks. His motor's going to run hot all game long. I think he's got capability on 3 downs. Good enough length. He plays with the good enough leverage to stack and shed in the run game. And obviously we know about him getting after the quarterback. So more of a technician type rusher. He's not really that freaky, twitchy edge rusher, but we got him already in Jordan Smith. But you get another guy, fill out the depth in that room in Jonathan Cooper here. All right, moving on. Round 6. Jamar Johnson. Again, you may think, shouldn't Indy go double dip at corner here? Maybe. That's potential of that. But let's get a versatile guy here. He's gotten reps with Indiana in the box and in single high. Pretty solid range and instincts for the position. Very good closing speed. And he's used as a blitzer at times for this Indiana defense. And he's a reliable tackler in space, something that you can rely on, something you'd like to see from players in a league that continues to build on guys who are elite after the catch. Finding guys who can make those tackles in space is huge. And you get a versatile guy here. Maybe you drop him into the slot a little bit if you're comfortable with Kenny Moore moving to the outside. Keeping things interesting here in the secondary. Keeping everything, moving parts, keep everyone versatile. This is a nice pick here for the Colts on day 3. Let's round this out. Do you think the tight end room is full? I don't think so at this point, and I don't think the Colts will think so, especially bringing in Carson Wentz. Going to heavily rely on the tight end as he continues to ingratiate himself back into Frank Reich's offense. Obviously, there's still connections with him and Peterson, so he's going to be familiar, but you're going to want to have him get as many targets over the middle of the field as possible. John Bates, somebody you can bring in here. Best playing in line as a blocker, but we've seen him flash his ability as a receiver, good athlete for his size. And again, as I said, developing route tree, he's getting to that point. Again, you're not going to probably ask him to do too much other than block at the beginning. You have Mo Alley Cox, you have Jack Doyle, you have 2 reliable players who can catch the football, but a guy who can develop into a solid number 2 option at the tight end position. Yeah, and that pretty much wraps up the mock draft, the first one on this channel for the Colts. There will be a couple more in the future. Let me know what you think down in the comments. Roast me if you would like to. Tell me the Colts would never pick this guy. That's fine. But seriously, always enjoy the comments. Love talking ball with folks. You can follow me on Twitter at JakeNFLDraft. That'll be down in the description as well. Like I said, take a look at NFLMockDraftDatabase.com. Again, consensus mocks, consensus big boards, team mocks from everywhere. He brings them all from all the sites into one spot for you. It's a really nice resource. And yeah, I always suggest new videos. Let me know what you think. We got a lot more coming in the future, so be sure to be tuned in for that. And I will see you guys next time. Farewell.